Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having us here today to talk about the impact and the importance of aviation in Atlanta and the state of Georgia. I'm Drew Steketee, Executive Director of the Partnership for Improved Air Travel, a broad coalition of aviation interests, frequent flyers, local government officials, who have all joined together on behalf of aviation system capacity improvements for the future. I'm new to the partnership, and it's appropriate that Atlanta kicks off my work for this important effort because under Mayor Young's leadership, Atlanta has built upon its role as a major world air hub. The changes in Atlanta transportation resources since I lived here 15 years ago are astounding. Your mayor and the unique public-private partnership, so typical of the Atlanta spirit of getting things done, deserve the recognition of the nation for your transportation accomplishments. Unfortunately, in air transportation, there's no time to rest on our laurels. Air passenger traffic will double by the year 2000. We must make investments in our air transportation infrastructure, investments which result in a real payback for this city, for this state, and the nation. Today, let us share with you the findings of a new national study on the impact of aviation in the U.S. economy and that of Georgia and the city of Atlanta. The study was conducted by the partnership with the international research firm of Wilbur Smith and Associates of Columbia, South Carolina. The study found that civil aviation in the U.S. creates economic activity of over $500 billion a year. Closer to home, aviation creates economic activity of more than $18 billion in Georgia every year. It accounts directly or indirectly for more than 265,000 jobs in Georgia and a payroll of $5.4 billion. In the Atlanta metro area, civil aviation creates more than $10.4 billion in economic activity and provides almost 180,000 jobs with a payroll of $3.6 billion. Clearly, these numbers prove what you've known, that aviation is critical to the economy of Atlanta and the state of Georgia. However, the study also contains a number of implications for the nation which cannot be underestimated. As demands and dependence on air transportation continue to increase, the nation's investment must keep pace. Unless we continue to expand and modernize our aviation system here and across the nation, the powerful engine of economic growth which aviation provides will be stalled. Mayor Andrew Young has been a great leader in aviation for this city and the state. His vision and leadership is reflected in the excellent aviation facility that this city enjoys. Mayor, we thank you for inviting us here today, and let me present to you Mayor Andrew Young. Thank you, sir.
Well, we'd like to thank the Partnership for Improved Air Travel and Delta Airlines, our leading air traveler in the city, for all that they've done to pull together for the citizens of this area and of the nation the impact of this airport on us economically. I think they've been very, very conservative, because my experience is that as I talk about Atlanta around the country and around the world, the single most important asset that we have is Hartsfield International Airport. I inherited that from Mayor Maynard Jackson and Mayor Allen and Mayor Hartsfield and all of them who went to build it into what it is today. We have added a fourth runway system. We've added an international terminal. We're in the process of improving the atrium. But the truth of it is the airport does more for us than we do for the airport. We have attracted about $75 billion worth of new investment into the metropolitan Atlanta region. And the single most important reason for business locating in Atlanta is the fact that this is the best place in America to do business. It's also the best place in America from which to do business. You can reach 80% of the U.S. market within 2 hours' time from the Atlanta airport, and thanks to the close proximity to downtown, you can maximize your executive staff time and the productivity of your organization by traveling through Hartsfield. And so we're very, very grateful for the partnership for pointing this up. We're even more grateful to Delta Airlines for their expanded flight service. Everywhere Delta flies, we end up pretty nearly quadrupling the amount of business we do with that area of the world. And so when you talk about the hundreds of flights that come in and out of here, you really have to say that Mayor Hartsfield, in addition to buying the airport for $90,000, really also struck a good deal when he said to Delta Airlines over in Louisiana, if you come here, you can have all the land you need for the next 50 years for $1 a year. Delta now employs about 59,000 people, and I guess at least 30,000 of them in the Atlanta area, maybe more. And we're very, very grateful, and I'd like to ask the president of Delta, Mr. Hollis Harris, if he would come forward and make some remarks.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we would like to extend that lease for another 50 years if we can before you get out of office. But thank you for being here today, Mr. Mayor, and let me say that those thanks extend not only for your efforts today to help bring light to the economic role aviation plays in our community, but for your long-term support of aviation and the Hartsfield International Airport. As many of you know, one of the highlights of Atlanta's progress and development in this century has been the city's emergence as one of the world's great aviation centers. That progress has been fueled by a strong commitment to aviation from Atlanta's elected leaders. Mayor William B. Hartsfield, for whom the airport is now named, began that tradition as mayor, and Mayor Young has done very much to enhance it. The importance of the work done by Mayor Young and his predecessors in the area of aviation is borne out by the results of this latest economic study. We see the massive benefits that have come to our region and state. As a major world aviation hub, Atlanta has a level of air service far greater than could be supported just by those passengers who begin and end their trips here in this city. The services offered by the 23 airlines serving this city form a vital resource in the continuing effort to attract more and more business and more jobs to our city and state. So please rest assured that while Atlanta continues to enjoy the region's dominant aviation role, new competition is emerging. Cities such as Charlotte, Nashville, and Raleigh-Durham are host to airlines who would love to have Atlanta's connecting traffic flow through the hubs in those cities. Quite simply, there is tremendous competition today in commercial aviation as airlines and hub cities make every effort to attract every passenger that they can. But competition is not anything new to the city of Atlanta, nor to the airline industry. It's a familiar fact of life for both of us. There are potential problems, to be sure, but Atlanta has an unequaled record of success in the area of aviation. We are very confident that this success will form the base for a very bright future for Atlanta and for the aviation community in Atlanta. Thank you.
This is the first comprehensive national study on the economic value of aviation. We're delighted to present it in Atlanta, where aviation is such a large part of this community. To symbolize that, I think we have a presentation at this time for Mayor Young.
Mayor Young, we do have a presentation to make in recognition of your support over the years for the Atlanta aviation community. I know that you know this already, but under your leadership, the Atlanta aviation community and Hartsfield International Airport has achieved worldwide recognition as a premier air facility. And Atlanta is not only a dominant major domestic airport, but it has achieved worldwide renown as an international gateway. And I can say to you that Mayor Young, as mayor and as an individual, has been one of the most important factors in making Atlanta the international city that it now is. So because of that, Mayor Young, it's a pleasure for me and with pride that on behalf of the whole entire aviation community of the city of Atlanta, we convey to you the title of Honorary Captain We thank you for your leadership and for your support.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay. Very good.
Thanks very much. We'll entertain questions at this time. I know the mayor will also entertain your questions as part of his regular press conference. Questions, anyone?
Ask both the mayor and Mr. Harris, when and where will we need a second airport?
Care to take the mic, sir?
Fortunately, that's not my decision. What we've tried to do is make land available in every potential quadrant of the metro area. And I think we're in the process now of making adjustments that would increase the capacity of the present airport by about 30%. That should get us through to the turn of the century. And I think the next mayor, or the mayor after that, should have, one, the best airport in the world, and land for second airports, for a second airport, or for an airport system around the metro area. And that decision, I think, will probably have to be made, will probably not seriously be made until around the year 2000. I think we just want to make sure that everything is ready so that when the decision is to be made, we won't then have to start acquiring land, or we won't have problems with community resistance or noise abatement. We'd like to have enough land located around the perimeter. In fact, some of the best investment that the airport has made has been in land. And you don't lose money on land in Georgia. So land banking is the phase that we're in right now, and our successors will probably make the final determinations.
How does the Eastern strike figure into the economic load?
Well, actually, even with the Eastern strike, we're doing better economically this year than we did last year. So the airport has been a tremendous success. There's no question we wish that Eastern were flying, well, we wish that the Eastern air system were able to remain intact, and that all of the people who are workers at Eastern would be back to work. But that's something that we've had a hard time being involved in.
Our position at Delta on the second airport, and generally the position of all of the other carriers serving Hartsfield, is basically what Mayor Young has stated. We certainly, all the airlines and Delta, feel that we have to do whatever we have to do in this region to make sure that we always have the adequate facilities for continued growth of the region. And we do have the capability with the land banking and the planning that the mayor has mentioned that has gone on before and that we feel will continue to select where we go after we reach capacity at Hartsfield. But at the present time, we feel that with the 4 runways that we have, we are operating at a little bit below the maximum capacity of the airport, even before Eastern went on strike. And as he mentioned, we are working with the city to expand the capacity of the airport by putting in a new commuter runway and by other improvements to the airfield itself. And those improvements really will allow the present airport to expand to a capacity of over 1 million operations per year, which gives us the capability to grow for several years into the future before we have to think of another airport.
Have you been able to project what impact the troubles at East are going to have long-term for Delta Airlines here in Atlanta?
Well, we certainly study that all the time. We now, well, let me say first that we, Delta, contrary to what a lot of people might think, want Eastern to be a strong, viable competitor. We certainly have competition one against the other, and that's the way it should be. But we want them to be a viable airline. We now see them coming back to their former size or near to it over the next 4 or 5 or 6 years. So we think in the meantime, some of the carriers here and in other hub cities have absorbed the Eastern traffic, but they're building back up fast, and within a few years I see that that will not be a negative factor that they have been on strike as they build back up to the size of operation that they want.
Any other questions? If not, thank you for joining us today on behalf of improved aviation capacity in the United States and celebrating Atlanta and Georgia's success. Thanks very much.
Country club to the public parks play in the same league, and this is about, well, my wife's been playing in it for 15 years, so it's about 20 years old.
Thursday, August 24th, marked the beginning of a crucial two-week period for Atlanta and its 1996 Olympic Organizing Committee. Mayor Andrew Young hosted 3 members of the International Olympic Committee at City Hall, including Prince Albert of Monaco, as Atlanta's most intense lobbying efforts for the 1996 Olympic Games got underway. A total of 29 International Olympic Committee members will visit Atlanta between now and September the 8th. A number of sports and cultural activities have been planned to coincide with this important visit, including the Alamo Cup, the Soviet Union versus the United States in a swim meet at Emory University, a water polo competition featuring teams from Cuba, Canada, and the United States, and a synchronized swimming exhibition. Both of the latter events will take place at Emory University September 1st through 3rd. In addition, the AOC, with assistance from the Atlanta Track Club, is sponsoring a 5K road race called the AOC 5K Run for the Bid on Labor Day, September the 4th. The road race will be held in conjunction with a cultural festival in the park adjoining AOC headquarters at the IBM Tower in Midtown. In addition, led by Mayor Young, 35 members of the Atlanta Organizing Committee will travel to San Juan, Puerto Rico to lobby for Atlanta at the annual Congress of the International Olympic Committee, August 28th through September 1st. Atlanta is competing with Athens, Greece, Belgrade, Yugoslavia, Manchester, England, Melbourne, Australia, and Toronto, Canada, to host the 1996 Summer Games.
That was the slogan, and we decided we were going to work together.